Doctor, what is that?
Talking
Groundsman or some one of those kinds of things. Like give you a little out.
talking about that, do you think that that Walter fucked up or something? Walter.
Okay, I'm about to start. Morning, everybody. All right, we had the Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq all recorded gains despite higher than expected initial jobless claims number and disappointing retail sales report out of the US. Anybody trading the Aussie yesterday would have felt the underlying bid in the market pretty much the entire day, even though the US was under pressure and the UK was under pressure. And then as soon as the S&P opened, they also raced higher. So it definitely doesn't feel like there's that much fear in the market. Part of the reason the US bounced like they did was probably because of CBS and Goodyear coming out with better than expected earnings. In the Asian markets, with the exception of Japan, managed to finish higher. Rest is obviously like the slightly higher than expected Chinese inflation data. I don't think it was that much better than or higher than expected, but they still took most of Asia apart from the Nikkei. The yen strengthened a bit against the dollar. We'll show the chart just now, but that's perhaps why Japan took the hit that it did. Then coming out at 9 o'clock, everyone's going to be watching for the Anglo-American number. Expecting headline earnings per share 188, revenue 30 billion, and a dividend per share of 53 US cents. And then Impala came out with a statement saying that there is an increased likelihood of a long platinum strike that may last until May. So watch Impala's. They did show a bit of a reversal yesterday. We'll see if that continues today. And then key factors today, we've got Chinese PPI year on year, CPI year on year, which came in slightly higher than expected. French GDP, German GDP, French non-farm payrolls, Spanish CPI, Italian GDP, Eurozone trade balance, and Eurozone GDP SA. And then out of the US, we've got import price index, industrial production, capacity utilization, and University of Michigan confidence. All right, let's have look at a couple of charts. The first one I'm going to show is the US dollar yen. So obviously this, as Joe's been saying over the last few weeks, this is going to be a major leading indicator for us. Yesterday and the day before we had negative days on the US dollar against the yen, which should show a little bit of weakness. It hasn't yet. But let's see if it is a leading indicator and we do get a little bit of weakness on the back of it. But an interesting setup. It looks like it's made a bit of a topping pattern here. It made a lower high and it's reversing back down again. As Joe said, there's a lot of traders out there with the short yen on that may get squeezed out if we do see further strengthening in the yen. All right, then let's have a look at Anglo, seeing they're reporting at 9 o'clock. We had a bit of a reversal candle, made a big squeeze higher yesterday morning and sort of ended sort of closer towards the lows. Didn't make a full key reversal. We didn't close below the previous day's low, but still a bit of a reversal candle. Obviously, those numbers at 9 o'clock are going to be the catalyst for the next move. If we do see weakness out of it, that reversal candle could prove correct, and we see a bit of a retracement. Definitely seems to be the general sector we want to be in, though. So if we do get a bit of a pullback close to the sort of 258, 260 zone, it might be a worthwhile looking to re-enter into Anglos. Then Sasol's been flagging, had a nice breakout the day before yesterday. Yesterday we sort of, I think, pretty much closed at break even, but we had a pretty good day out of the States. I think they closed at a rand equivalent price of 242.65, 542.65. So let's see how that plays out today. Definitely seems from this pattern that we're going to get some further upside and possibly test that all-time high at 560. If we have a look at Kumba, Kumba recently broke out of this inverse head and shoulders, and has been struggling over the last sort of few weeks. Just been moving in this choppy sideways range between 440 and 460. I do believe that if we do get a break out of this 20 rand range, we should see a quick move either way. I think the level we've got to monitor at the moment is this uptrend coming in at 440. If we get a decisive close below there, sort of call it 438 possibly, or 437 or lower, then I would say that the odds favour a further move to the downside in Kumba. Then going to the industrial space, Remgro. Remgro's broken out of a sort of a major uptrend recently, and it had a nice move up to try and retest that level. Didn't quite get to the level and has reversed off since. I would say the next major level that I can see on Remgro is 170. We look if we continue this move downwards, sort of, I would say a break below 180 would be confirmation, but I would still feel, if we don't get any bounce out of it today, that you could even short it now for a move to test that 170 level. And then the last one that I want to show is Discovery. I think we all know this chart by now, but it's a difficult company to short, given that what a sort of a market leader it is in its sector, but this is a very clear head and shoulders. You can't argue with this pattern. It's tested this level exactly yesterday. It got actually a little bit higher to $79 and failed. If we zoom in a little bit, it's not a major failure. But if we do get further weakness from this level, then it might be worthwhile trying the short side. The target on this head and shoulders pattern is around $58, which is actually hard to believe. But if we do get weakness from this level, I think it's a worthwhile shot on the short side, with obviously a stop above 78. And that's all for today, guys. Good luck.